Okay, this is the antiderivative method for solving an ordinary differential equation, specifically a first order differential equation. So we have our problem here, and just note up top here, we're using this method when we have a function of x dx and a function of y dy, and the whole thing is equal to 0. This way we can kind of separate the two on either side and just take an antiderivative or an integral and end up solving for just y. So the first step is to look at this equation and see if we can manipulate it in any way that can get us to this form. So I see a y prime here. I'm immediately going to rewrite this as dy over dx, right? That is the other notation for the first derivative. I can equate this to negative x squared over 2y. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is kind of cross multiply by the denominators here. Okay, so I'm going to take 2y here, multiply it to this side. And I'm going to take dx and multiply it to the other side. So what that's going to leave us with is 2y dy is equal to negative x squared dx. We're good in this form, but just to show you, if we kind of pull up here, if we were to subtract negative 2x squared dx on either side, we'd end up getting 2y dy plus x squared dx equals 0, which is exactly the form that we're looking for here. We have a function of x with the dx and a function of y with a dy, and the whole thing's equal to 0. So we're good. If you do get to this point, or if the question is given to you in this point, just make sure we're going to subtract one of the terms over to the other side, and then we will end up with this form here. The next thing we're going to do is simply just integrate both sides. So we will integrate and integrate. Okay, so the integral of 2y is going to be y squared, and this is going to be, there needs to be an arbitrary constant there, plus c, equals, we have negative x cubed over 3 plus c. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we have an equation where we have a y term and an x term. We just have to isolate for the y term. So what I'm going to do is I can write this as c1, c2. And I'm just going to subtract c1 on either side. So we're going to end up with y squared equals negative x cubed over 3 plus, and an arbitrary constant minus, this should be a minus an arbitrary constant is still an arbitrary constant. So we're just going to say plus c3. Great. Now we're just going to take the square root of this whole side here to get rid of this squared value here. So I will square root this, square root all of that. Okay. Now we're going to have y is equal to the square root of x cubed over 3 negative x cubed, over 3, plus c3. That's it. That's the answer. So now we have solved this ordinary differential equation.